I, 28 male, just had the most surreal weekend of my life. My living girlfriend of 2 years, Haley, 27, moved out on Friday after one of the nastiest fights we've ever had. Except this time, I didn't beg her to stay. And what happened next? Well, I'm still processing it. Let me back up. Haley and I met at a mutual friend's housewarming party. She was gorgeous, funny, and seemed really into me. We hit it off immediately. After 6 months of dating, her lease was up and she suggested moving in together. I had a nice 2-bedroom apartment in a great neighborhood, so it made sense. The first few months were good, but slowly things started shifting. See, I work from home as a freelance graphic designer. My apartment is set up perfectly for it. The second bedroom is my office, great natural light, quiet neighbors. Haley works in retail management at this upscale boutique, lots of irregular hours. The problem started small. She'd come home and complain that my work stuff was everywhere. It was in my office. She'd interrupt my client calls because she needed to vent about her day. She'd use my office for her yoga sessions during my work hours because the living room doesn't have the right energy. Then came the bigger issues. She started calling me lazy because I was home all day. Never mind that I was billing 50 to 60 hours a week and making 3 times what she made. According to her, real jobs meant leaving the house. She'd make snide comments to her friends about her house husband right in front of me. The household duties became a huge fight. Despite me working more hours, she expected me to do all the cooking, cleaning, and errands because I was home anyway. If I pushed back, she'd roll her eyes and say I was being dramatic. Her favorite line was, "It must be so hard sitting at your computer all day while I deal with actual people." The kicker? She contributed $500 a month toward the $2,200 rent because that's all she could afford after her car payment, student loans, and lifestyle expenses. I covered utilities, groceries, and most of our entertainment. But somehow, I was the one not pulling my weight. Last Thursday was my breaking point. I just landed a huge contract with a tech startup, biggest project of my career. 6 months of steady work, really good money. I was pumped. When Haley came home, I tried to share the news. "That's nice, babe," she said, scrolling through her phone. "Can you move your stuff off the dining table? I want to have Marissa and Jen over for wine night." My stuff was the contract I was reviewing at the dining table because she was using my office for an Instagram photo shoot earlier. "Haley, this is a really big deal for me. Can you at least pretend to care?" She looked up from her phone with that expression. You know the one. Like you're a child having a tantrum. "Oh my God, Colin. Why do you always need validation for doing your job? I sold 3 designer bags today. Do you see me begging for a parade? That's not the same thing." "You're right. My job is harder. I have to deal with horrible customers while you sit here in your pajamas playing on your computer." I lost it. Not yelling, just done. "You know what? You're absolutely right. You do have it so much harder. Living here for practically nothing, having me cook your meals, clean up after you, while you treat me like hired help. Must be exhausting putting up with me." That's when she said it. Full eye roll, dripping with contempt. "You think you're the victim here? Please, I'm the one putting up with you." I stood up, looked her straight in the eye, and said, "You'll miss putting up with me." She laughed. Actually laughed. "Right? What'd I miss? Your weird work schedule? Your antisocial behavior? The fact that you're basically a hermit? Face it, Colin. I'm the best thing that ever happened to you. Without me, you'd just be some loser working from his apartment with no social life. Then why stay? Because unlike you, I don't give up when things get tough. But you know what? Maybe I should. Maybe I'll go stay with Marissa for a while. Let you see how pathetic your life is without me." "Your key," I said, holding out my hand. "Excuse me. If you're moving out, I need your key." She stared at me like I'd grown a second head. "Are you seriously trying to kick me out? Over this?" "I'm not kicking you out. You just said you were leaving. I'm agreeing with you. We're done. Haley, get your stuff and go." The shock on her face was something. Like she'd never considered I might actually agree with her. Update 1. Holy crap, guys. The entitlement is real. So Haley did leave Thursday night. Packed a bag, made a big show of slamming doors, and announced she'd be back for her things when you've calmed down and apologized. Went to stay with her work friend Marissa. Friday morning, I get a text. I'll need the apartment from 2 to 4 today to pack properly. Make sure you're not there. This is hard enough without your drama. My drama? I replied, I work from home. I have client meetings all afternoon. You can come by after 6. That doesn't work for me. Marissa can only help me move from 2 to 4. Then come another day. Stop being petty, Colin. Just go to a coffee shop or something. No. She showed up at 2 anyway, with Marissa and some guy with a truck. Tried to use her key, except I'd already changed the locks Friday morning. Best $150 I ever spent. The doorbell rings. I check the camera. There they are. Colin, open the door. I need my things. I told you to come after 6. I don't have time for this. I have plans tonight. Not my problem. She started banging on the door. This is illegal. You can't lock me out. I live here. You moved out last night. You announced you were staying with Marissa. You have no lease, no mail here, nothing. You're a guest who needs to schedule a convenient time to pick up their belongings. Marissa chimed in, Wow, Haley, he's even worse than you said. What kind of man treats a woman like this? I didn't respond. Just went back to my office and put on noise-canceling headphones. They left after 20 minutes of dramatics. That evening, the text started. This is really immature. I can't believe you're being this vindictive. All my skincare is there. Do you know how much that costs? Marissa says I can sue you. You're going to regret this. Saturday morning, she tried a different approach. Sweet texts about how we should talk like adults. How she maybe overreacted. How we could work things out. I didn't respond. By Saturday afternoon, she was back to threats. Her stuff was designer. I'd owe her thousands if anything happened to it. She called the cops. She'd tell everyone what an abusive jerk I was. Here's the thing. I'd already carefully packed all her belongings. Everything. Clothes, shoes, jewelry, her precious skincare, even the half-empty shampoo bottles. All in boxes, neatly labeled, stacked in the living room. I sent her one text. Your belongings are packed and ready. You can pick them up tomorrow, Sunday, between 10 a.m. and noon. Bring help and a vehicle. This is the only time I'm available this week. I can't do morning. I have brunch plans. Then next Sunday, same time. Are you serious right now? Dead serious? The meltdown was epic. 32 texts about how unreasonable I was being. How I was holding her things hostage. How she'd have Marissa's boyfriend come talk sense into me. But here's the beautiful part. While she was having her tantrum, I was having the best Saturday I'd had in months. Worked on my new project without interruptions. Ordered Thai food and didn't have to hear about how it makes the apartment smell. Watched a documentary she would have called boring. It was peaceful. Then Sunday morning came. And with it, a twist I didn't see coming. Update 2. Okay, so I need to tell you about Nora. Nora, 26, works at the coffee shop down the street from my apartment. We've been casually friendly for about a year. She knows my order. We chat about books, normal regular customer stuff. What I didn't know until recently was that she also knows Haley. Turns out, Nora used to work at the same boutique as Haley about 18 months ago. Haley was her supervisor and not a good one. Nora quit after 6 months of being belittled, having her schedule jerked around, and being blamed for things that weren't her fault. The final straw was when Haley tried to write her up for unprofessional appearance because Nora's designer knockoff bag was bringing down the store's image. I learned all this Sunday morning when I went to grab coffee before Haley's pickup time. Nora asked if I was okay. Apparently, I looked stressed. I gave her the short version. Girlfriend moved out, coming to get her stuff, probably going to be dramatic about it. Nora's response? Wait, Haley Morrison? Tall, blonde, works at Luxe Boutique. Yeah, you know her? The look on Nora's face said everything. She told me the whole story. Then she said something that made me think. Can I ask you something? Did she ever contribute to rent? Because when I worked with her, she was always bragging about her investment properties and how smart she was with money. Investment properties? This was news to me. Haley always claimed she was broke after her bills. Also, Nora continued, be careful. When I quit, she tried to claim I stole merchandise. Thank God for security cameras. I bought my coffee and headed home, mind spinning. But I didn't have time to process because at 10:15, Haley showed up. With Marissa, Marissa's boyfriend, and 2 other girls I didn't recognize. 5 people for maybe 8 boxes of stuff. I opened the door but stood in the doorway. Boxes are right here. Please take them and go. Haley tried to push past me. I need to check the apartment. Make sure you didn't keep anything. Everything is in these boxes. I documented it all. I showed her my phone with photos of each box's contents. I don't trust you. Let me in. No. Marissa's boyfriend, trying to be intimidating. Dude, just let her check. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. It's not hard at all. Take the boxes and leave. Then Haley played her card. Fine. But I'm not leaving until you pay me back for the utilities I've been covering. I almost laughed. What utilities? I've been paying half of everything for 2 years. That's like thousands of dollars you owe me. Haley, you paid $500 a month total. Rent is $2,200. Utilities average $300. You haven't paid for anything except a small portion of rent. That's not true. I have receipts. Then show them. Obviously, she couldn't, because they didn't exist. The group started getting uncomfortable. One of the girls whispered something about needing to leave soon. Finally, they took the boxes. As they were loading the truck, Haley made one last attempt. You know you'll never find anyone else like me, right? No woman want a guy who works from home all day. You'll be alone in this apartment until you die. Promise? I said. She stomped off. And that was supposed to be the end of it. Except Monday morning, I got an email from my biggest client asking about the concerning information they'd received about me. Someone had sent them a message claiming I was unreliable, unprofessional, and had substance abuse issues. 3 guesses who? Update 3. The client email situation got resolved quickly. I've been working with them for 3 years, never missed a deadline, and the anonymous email was so obviously fake that they mainly wanted to give me a heads up. They even forwarded it to me. It was sent from a throwaway Gmail account and sounded like it was written by someone who doesn't understand what I actually do for a living. Lots of vague accusations, no specific examples. Very Haley. But that wasn't the end of her extinction burst. I mean, her temper tantrum. Tuesday, I get a call from my landlord. Someone had called, claiming to be my girlfriend, and tried to add themselves to the lease. Said I'd agreed to it, but was too busy to come to the office myself. My landlord, bless him, has dealt with enough tenant drama to see through that immediately. He called me to confirm. I explained the situation, and he made a note in my file that no changes should be made without me physically present with ID. Wednesday was quiet. Too quiet. I should have known she was planning something. Thursday morning, I'm making coffee when I get a text from Nora. Hey, weird question. Your ex isn't blonde with a Michael Kors bag, is she? Because someone matching that description has been sitting outside the cafe for 2 hours watching your building. Stalking. Cool. I looked out my window, and sure enough, there was Haley's white Honda parked across the street. I could see her in the driver's seat, watching my building. I texted back. That's her. How long has she been there? Since we opened at 7. Wanting to call the cops. Not yet. Let's see what she does. I had a video call with a client at 10, so I made sure to position myself where she could see me through the window, working away, clearly unbothered. Around 11, she left. But here's where it gets interesting. Remember that coffee shop conversation with Nora about investment properties? I did some digging. Public records are beautiful things. Turns out, Haley's parents own 3 rental properties in the area. The student loans she was always complaining about paid off 2 years ago, according to her LinkedIn, where she bragged about it. Her struggle to afford anything beyond $500 rent, she was clearing at least $70,000 at that boutique. The woman was loaded, or at least comfortable. She just enjoyed making me subsidize her lifestyle while she saved and invested her money. Thursday evening, Nora texted again. Your ex just came in. She's asking my co-workers about you. When you come in, what you order if you come in with anyone. That's when I had an idea. A possibly petty, definitely satisfying idea. Hey, this is random, but are you still looking for a roommate? See, Nora had mentioned a few weeks ago that her roommate was moving out and she needed to find someone to split rent. She couldn't afford their place alone. Yeah, why? You know someone. Actually, me. If you're interested. Wait, what? I thought you had your own place. I do, but I've been thinking about downsizing. My lease is month to month now. Your place is what? A 2-bedroom? Yeah, in that converted Victorian on Park Street. $1,600 a month total. But are you serious? Dead serious. When can I see it? We arranged for me to come by Saturday morning. Yes, I was actually considering moving. Not because of Haley, because I realized I'd been holding on to that apartment for the wrong reasons. It was too big for just me, too expensive, and full of memories I didn't want anymore. Plus, the idea of Haley finding out I'd rather have a roommate than live with her again, that was just icing on the cake. Final update. I did it. I actually did it. And the universe provided the most perfect moment of poetic justice I could have asked for. So I want to see Nora's place that Saturday. It was perfect character, charm, actually affordable. The second bedroom was smaller than my current office, but had huge windows and gorgeous original hardwood. The landlord loved that I work from home, less wear and tear, always someone around to receive packages. I signed the lease that afternoon. My favorite part? It's literally around the corner from the coffee shop. So all of Haley's stalking would be even more pointless now. I gave notice on my apartment, hired movers, and spent the next 2 weeks organizing. Donated a bunch of stuff I didn't need, sold furniture that wouldn't fit the new space. It felt liberating. Moving day was last Saturday. I kept everything quiet on social media. Not that Haley would see. We blocked each other, but you know how mutual friends talk. The movers were incredibly efficient. By noon, my old apartment was empty except for the things I was leaving for the next tenant, curtains I couldn't use, some shelving units. I was doing a final walkthrough when there was a knock at the door. Not the doorbell, a knock. Through the peephole, I saw Haley. She was holding a Starbucks cup and had this weird, hopeful expression. I opened the door. "Can I help you?" Her eyes went wide as she looked past me into the empty apartment. "You are moving?" "Yep. But where? When? Why didn't you tell me? Why would I tell you anything?" She pushed past me into the apartment, spinning around like she was in a movie. "This doesn't make sense. You love this place. You said it was perfect for your work. Things change. Is this because of me? Are you seriously so petty that you're moving just to prove a point?" "Not everything is about you, Haley." She started pacing. "This is insane. Do you know how hard it is to find a place like this? The neighborhood, the space, the price. You'll never find anything comparable." "Already did." "Where?" "Doesn't matter." That's when she switched tactics. The tears came out. "Colin, I made a mistake. I've been thinking a lot these past few weeks. Maybe we could talk. Maybe we could try again." "No, I could move back in. I mean, if you're moving anyway, we could get a fresh start somewhere new. Together." "I'm good, thanks." "You're being ridiculous. We were together for 2 years. That has to mean something. It means I wasted 2 years. But hey, lesson learned." She followed me as I did my final check of the closets. "Who is she?" "Who's who?" "The girl you're moving in with. I know there's someone. You wouldn't do this otherwise." "There's no girl. Just a roommate." "Right. A roommate. What's her name?" I turned to face her. "Why are you here, Haley?" "Really?" And then the truth came out. Marissa's place was too small. Her parents wouldn't let her move back home without admitting she'd been lying about our relationship. She'd looked at apartments, but couldn't find anything she could afford alone in a decent area. "I need this apartment, Colin. Just sublet it to me. I'll pay the full rent, I swear." "It's already rented. New tenants move in Monday." The panic on her face was something. "Then where am I supposed to go?" "Maybe ask one of those better options you were talking about." "That's not." "I didn't mean." "Look, I said things I didn't mean. We both did. But you're really going to leave me homeless out of spite." "You're not homeless. You have options. Use them." I locked the door and headed down to the lobby where the movers were waiting with the last load. Haley followed, alternating between pleading and insulting me. The doorman watched with barely concealed amusement. Apparently, he'd never liked her much. But here's the beautiful part. As we exit the building, there's Nora walking up the street with a box of donated kitchen stuff for the new apartment. She saw us and waved. "Hey, roomie, I grabbed those extra hangers you wanted." The look on Haley's face. The absolute shock. The disbelief. The rage. The recognition. "You're moving in with her? The coffee shop girl? The one I dash?" Nora cut her off. "The one you try to get fired for having a knockoff purse?" "Yeah, that's me." "Hi, Haley. How's the boutique?" Haley looked between us, mouth opening and closing like a fish. You planned this." You both planned this to humiliate me. Actually, I said, loading the last box into the truck. It's just a convenient coincidence. Nora needed a roommate. I needed a change. Win-win. She's a barista. You're downgrading your entire life for revenge. Nora laughed. Actually, I'm in my last semester of nursing school. The coffee shop is just part-time. But thanks for the concern about Colin's life choices. He seems pretty capable of making his own decisions. I climbed into the moving truck. Good luck with everything, Haley. Hope you find what you're looking for. As we drove away, I could see her in the side mirror, standing on the sidewalk, still holding that Starbucks cup, looking completely lost. That was 2 weeks ago. The new apartment is fantastic. Nora is the ideal roommate, considerate, clean, actually pays her half of everything without being asked. She's also hilarious and has introduced me to her friend group, who are all normal, functioning adults who don't treat service workers like garbage or their partners like ATMs. The best part? When I'm working, she respects my space. When I landed another big client last week, she actually congratulated me and bought a bottle of wine to celebrate. Like a normal human being. Oh, and according to the neighborhood gossip, small area, people talk, Haley ended up having to move back in with her parents. Apparently, she told them I'd been emotionally abusive and kicked her out with no warning. They believed her until they ran into my old doorman at the grocery store. He set them straight about who was actually the problem in that relationship. Last I heard, she's working at a different boutique on the other side of town and telling everyone that I'm stalking her, and that's why she had to move. Which is hilarious since I haven't thought about her except to write this update. You know what the funny thing is? She was right about one thing. She was the best thing that happened to me. Because leaving her led to a better living situation, stronger friendships, and the realization that I've been accepting way less than I deserved. So thanks, Haley. You almost putting up with me? Nah, but I bet you miss that subsidized lifestyle and having someone to blame for all your problems. Meanwhile, I'm over here living my best life with a roommate who appreciates that working from home is a real job and knows the value of mutual respect. Karma's beautiful, isn't it?